Team Takeover. So if I show you an old video, the whole point is that we keep doing the same thing, right? So let me share my screen real quick. Let me find this video. And then I want to share with you this, and I just want to introduce you to Team Takeover. Even if you've been with us for a minute, this might be a different piece for you. So check this out.
We definitely believe in family or being family oriented. It's not about one person. It's about us being a unit to make us successful. Let's go. Let's go. We like a family. Team Takeover. Not just us, the 6 teams, 15s, all the age, but we like a family. The program has a certain identity that we carry. We want good kids, you know, from good families, that's good academic students. We want kids that want to get better. Everybody in this team and all important. Play like it. It's not necessarily the blue chip players as much as it is having the right quality of kids in our program. Being on Team Takeover is everything, you know. We're one of the best teams in DC, and it's just a great opportunity. Being on the road with these guys is fun. You know, you get a chance to deal with different personalities.
We always have fun when we're on the road together. We know it's a business trip. You eating them up with me?
Hey, with your friends, this is what you like to do, play basketball. So, man, I like it.
Family like we live, man. Oh, you welcome. I mean, it's a great tournament, probably the best tournament in America. Be number one in it makes me feel better.
The atmosphere can carry things, you know, far beyond the small town of Washington, D.C. We have two of our alumni here, Victor Oladipo and Eric Green, who's both preparing for the draft. Guys, are South alumni. They spend a lot of time with the young guys, but also their commitment to the program when they come back and show support to those kids. Team Takeover program means a lot to me. It's my family.
Brotherhood, something that you'll always remember. Because I know all of our guys that we still play, we always talk about AU till this day.
Keep going, Trey.
Me and Jaron Green got to name it. You know, it was between the team. We all wanted Team Takeover, and as soon as we heard it, we wanted Team Takeover. Coming out here, interacting with the young guys, and you know, seeing the circuit all over again, seeing how much it's changed, and seeing how much it's gotten better, and how different it is, and it's come a long way. So it's truly a blessing to be out here and be with these guys, these are my family. Team family, it's something that one of the other coaches, the younger coaches that used to play for me, that's now coaching with us, came up with Ray Brewer. Ray Brewer started the feather movement 2 years ago. He just started saying feather, and all the kids in board into it, and it's kind of went worldwide.
Feather means like fresh, like everything's good, always good.
Being feathery, I mean, just being like, you just got swag, you know, it's feathery. It means swag. It means so many different things. It tells you that something that you do means something that's important and positive. We've never in our program average over 16 points, but we've had kids to go to college. I just committed to Georgetown. And I don't think I probably would have got the Georgetown out takeover, you know. Keep pushing me every time we get out on the court. I think this got me real better. There's nothing normal about us, so we're not going to accept being normal. Let's get ready for the next one. I think the biggest thing now is just preparing ourselves for the next game, because every game, everybody's going to give you their best shot. We just got to maintain our composure and keep doing what we do. The regular season is only a small part. It's what we do once the playoffs come. 1, 2, 3. We're undefeated right now. We're going to try to play as hard as we can. Hopefully we can stay undefeated. Stay tuned. He said family. He said family.
So I wanted to give you that as a little bit of an introduction. Let me turn my camera back on. A little bit of an introduction.
I know.
And again, if you're in a safe space and you can join with your camera on, that'd be awesome. We keep the mics off. But I want to just kind of introduce you to Team Takeover, because it is just different. I mean, I want people to recognize that we have a long tradition. I showed you a video. That video came out at least 10 years. Let me see, 11 years ago. That was our story. And it's our story today. literally the same thing. Trey Campbell, like there are people in that video that still continue to do the same thing with us, literally to this day, right? So I wanted to kind of help you understand that what you're when you become a part of this, and even just for the academy, like I want y'all to understand that there's the Team Takeover Basketball 2024 Academy is a part of the Takeover story. You're part of the family, like for this piece right here. A lot of our kids play 1 year, some play more years, but whatever your moment is to be a part of this, what I want you to experience is the top level of basketball in the DMV, and I'm gonna say in the country. And when I say the top level, I mean in terms of our tradition, in terms of our results, in terms of the way we play the game, in terms of the level of coaching that people get when they're a part of Team Takeover. Like this is not by accident. I need people to understand that we don't just wake up and roll up the basketball and say, give us the best talent, let's grind. No, it's not by accident. The reason we focus at the grassroots level in development is because we want to build a pipeline. It doesn't always work like that. There's only been 3 kids in our program that started with us in 2nd grade and got to 17U EYBL. Matter of fact, only 2 that started in 2nd grade. But the idea is that some of those kids that came in those classes went to all kinds of other things in the sports, and then you might not stay with Takeover, but I promise you, there are people that come through our program that end up playing college basketball for free tuition in all different spaces. And that's why I focus on the grassroots part. So I get hype, I get excited. Just to get this whole thing started again. I want to stop for a second because I want to say, I gave you kind of an introduction. Does anybody have a question about team? Like if there was one question you wanted to have answered about Team Takeover, here's your shot. And I'm gonna give you kind of my background while I may be qualified to answer that. But having been with the program for over a decade now, easily I think 12 years. If there's anybody has a question, come off mute. And if you got a question that you want to know about Team Takeover, go ahead and shoot it, and I'll try to answer. Don't ask in the streets. Don't ask what people think they know. Don't ask who we really are. If you want to know something about Team Takeover, that's for my student athletes, my parents, whoever. If you have a question you want to know, go ahead. And no question is too small, too silly.
Can you hear me, brother?
Yep, I got you, Jamal.
My question is, how are the coaches at Takeover, how does the organization decide who will be a good coach for the programs, and then more specifically at specific age groups? How is that kind of determined?
That's an awesome question. And I will say this as I answer these questions, I'm the director of Takeover Grassroots. So 2nd with 3rd grade generally, but 3rd grade to 6th grade, we have a middle school program and a high school program. I will give you some generals, but in terms of specifics about what we do here, well, let me start with this. In general, with Team Takeover at all levels, we want to have the best people in the best positions. And whether that's assistant coaches, head coaches, whether that's our man, because we look at coaches as coaches' staffs. So when people think, well, the coach is just the head coach. No, it's a staff. And whether that's the manager, administrator, your assistant coach, and your head coach, that's what makes a good staff. So first thing is first, at all levels, we want to have a good staff. And then we want to make sure people are in the right spot. Like somebody might be a basketball knowledge, but might not be as good in game plan. It might be the head coach. Somebody might not have as great of a rapport with kids. We got to build that. But we're going to make sure there's a balance in the roster and try to take care of any deficiencies. And what I mean by that is this is the thing about grassroots, and I'll come down to my level. We are all volunteers. And one of the most amazing things about Takeover Grassroots Basketball is that we have people that don't have any children in the program that have volunteered to keep pouring back into your children. Most teams around, and it makes sense. Most people, if you're going to commit this much time in the gym and practice, you're doing it for your own kid. And if there's 10 other kids that want to play with y'all, then that's great. And that's what most people do. What we stress and try to push for is I want to have as many coaches as I can that aren't head coaches, that aren't directly related to the kids on the court. And we've been able to do that. We're able to do that. We build grade levels. So for instance, at the grade levels, we have certain coaches that kind of oversee the grade level. And we try we try to build that. Now, here's the thing. The reality of it is those are hard to find sometimes. But if I'm going to have a dad coach, if I'm going to have a father that's coaching, there's absolutely something, or a mom coaching, there's absolutely some things that we're going to make sure that there's a person that wants to learn the game. Let me help y'all with this. We teach and we coach Takeover Basketball. So I really don't care what your background is, your resume, your playbook. I don't want you to bring your playbook if you want to coach at Takeover. I want you to come with a good attitude about teaching and developing and helping kids learn to understand a growth mindset that these kids, the kids you think are good in third grade, are not going to be the same kids you're talking about in fifth grade. And if you can have that growth mindset and you can learn our system, we're going to teach you everything we do. Right. So I'm glad you kind of brought me this, Jamal, because part of this is we also, as the academy, we're recruiting coaches as well. Like we need more coaches at every grade level. So if you want to coach and you think, hey, I'm just want to give this a shot, bring your open mind. We'll teach you how to be a takeover coach and find out by the end of the academy if it's something that's going to be a good fit. If it's not, we're going to thank you for your service. I'm going to give you a t-shirt and we're going to make sure we find a spot for each grade. So Jamal, I don't want to answer your question. There's a lot of things that go into making a good coach, but for us, it's our main priority to make sure I've had teams that I didn't have coaches for that I didn't just field the team. If I don't have the coach first, I'm not going to have the team. So that's where it starts for us in terms of what's important.
I appreciate that.
Okay, no doubt. Appreciate you. Any other questions about takeover
Question.
in general? Yep, go ahead.
What is Team Takeover mainly looking for in a young basketball player?
Alex, man, let me tell you, that's a fantastic question. Let me tell you what I would say as a person, as a coach and a father who's had three sons go through the Team Takeover development program. I would say the number one thing that we're looking for are people that love to play basketball. Because it's a long road between what you think you want out of this game and what you actually get out of this game. And it's not always pretty, but if you have a love for the game, that's the first thing. Right. And when I say a love, I mean a love for the work of the game, like not the game where you score the points. When I say the love of the game, I mean the development, the years of the grind, because that's what it takes. If I had to think maybe some of the top characteristics of a team takeover basketball player, I would say we look for a certain level of intelligence. See, we believe that anybody can play this game. There are certain skills you come with, but there's also some certain things that we can teach you how to do. And if you can learn things, you can get advantages. So a level of intelligence. Probably if I had to start from scratch, though, I would say hard work. If you don't want to work hard, I don't care how good you are. If you don't want to work hard, it's gonna wear out sooner or later. I'm looking for the next kid that goes from second grade to 17 UEYBL. I'm like, who's it gonna be? Let me line some set and line them up. Because I know what to look for now. I've seen it happen. I know what it takes. So definitely hard work. I would say, what else? A love for the game, hard work. Oh, being coachable. Lord have mercy. I probably should have said that one first. Let me help y'all with something. I don't care whoever the best fourth grader, or third grader, or fourth grader, or fifth grader who's on here. Let me say something to you real quick. I don't care how good you are. In the big picture of what you're trying to be, you are terrible. Let me say that again. Let me help you with this. If you really want something out of this game about like playing in high school and playing in college or being a pro, I need you to understand that 5 and 6 years, fifth and sixth grade, right now, you're not even close. You're horrible. I don't care if you're getting a whole bunch of buckets. When I say horrible, what I mean is there's a whole bunch of work to do. So don't ever think as good as you are, oh, I got 15 points and I'm the best third grader in my school. I want you to understand that we're talking about the highest level of basketball. So I need you to tell yourself every day, I got to work hard. I got to keep getting better. So I got to be coachable because the people that are telling you how to play this game are people that have already done it. So you might want to listen. So coachability, love for the game, hard work. I would say any basketball coach loves genetics. Just to be honest with you, right? If you play aggressive, if you're tall and you're strong, or if you even are small and you're aggressive and you want to play hard. When I say genetics, it's not just hitting the genetic lottery of being tall, but it's just having that DNA about you, that dog about you. That's just like, you know what? I might be the smallest guy here, but you don't want to put the ball down and dribble in front of me. I guarantee you it's going to be a problem. Because we play defense. Let me say that. At Team Takeover, you heard Keith say we've never had people average more than 16 points a game. We got pros, Josh Hart, Victor Oladipo, all kinds of people. Don't get more than 16 points a game in this program. You know why? Because the first and foremost, you're putting all this energy into playing defense. So if you don't commit to playing defense, in the third grade, if you can't commit to playing defense, you're gonna have a short career with us. But if you can do the little things and the intangibles, you can build a career, whether it's with takeover or just understanding good basketball. All right. So that's a great question, man. I hope I answered that, Alex, but that's a great question. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll take one more question before I move into this next piece. Anybody have a question? And you can also put stuff in the chat if you feel like you want to. It's all good too if you don't want to come off and ask it. All right. Let me back up a little bit because I know I just jumped on here. And again, some of you guys I know, but there's so many faces and so many names that I'm not familiar with. I guess I should probably kind of introduce myself and say like kind of why you might want to listen to me for an hour on Zoom on a Wednesday night. So my name's Kyle Williams, and I'm the grassroots director. I've been the director of Takeover Grassroots probably for about 10 years now. And as I said before, I'm the father of three Division I basketball players. Now, I don't know how many people you know, but I don't know how many you know that have three sons that play Division I basketball. I never played Division I basketball. I'm 5'11". My sons are 6'5" and above. It's a different game for them, right? But I'm a person who moved to this area in 1998, started raising my kids with the help of the wonderful PG County Parks and Recreation Center. I ran into a gentleman by the name of Tony Thompson, who wanted to coach a basketball team at 9U, and we bounced around from multiple organizations from 8U to 9U. We were a different team every year. We just kept playing good basketball together with my oldest son. And then when Jelani was introduced in sixth grade, we moved to Team Takeover when my oldest son was in the sixth grade. Geez, that was a long time ago. So, and then I've been a part of that program. My other son Elijah went through the program, and then my son Caleb just came out of the program. That's his big head in the back up there. My baby is Caleb Williams, who's going to be a freshman at Georgetown University, playing with Ed Cooley, looking to rebuild the Georgetown legacy. And I'll tell you this, Caleb is the last student athlete that went from second grade to 17 EYBL in Takeover history. He's only one or two. His partner, Jeremiah Quigley, who started with him as well. Trevor Keels, you might know that name, started in third grade with us and stayed from 17s. But Caleb and Jeremiah went from second grade all the way through EYBL. But here's the thing I want you to get from this. Caleb, my son, finished his career in high school as a three-time state champion in DC, three back-to-back state championships out of Sidwell Friends. Finished as a top 100 recruit, had major offers from Michigan, Indiana, all kinds of places. Caleb, in his 10 years as playing with Team Takeover, never was a starter on the A team. Let me say this again. Caleb Williams, who's getting a free tuition education of about $87,000 a year at Georgetown University, after being a top 100 recruit, played with Team Takeover from second grade to 17s and never was a starter on the black team or the A team. That might sound kind of crazy, but I'll give this to you. In the beginning, when I put him in the program, because he's my third son, and I realized the mistakes that I had made with some of my first and my second, when we started Takeover Grassroots, we built a orange program for kids just like my son Caleb. Because see, Caleb had big hands, had a big head, he had big feet, he was slow. So the game was too fast for him. So he was on the orange team, on the B team, from second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and he built them into a Division II national power. My only trophy that I keep from AU is my is that the fourth grade one or the third? My fourth place finish with my orange team in the fourth grade. That's the trophy I keep because we worked so hard to get from where we were to that trophy. But he then graduated to the A team because he was like, Dad, I want to go I want to go play with everybody. I said, all right. So we went to the A team. And he was the eighth man on the bench. He was in the mix, but he was a bench player. So he came through that. He goes to middle school. He gets cut from the seventh grade team. Straight cut. I had to create a second team in the seventh grade to keep him and the other kids they cut around because I believed in what we did and I found a really good coach. And so we built that year up. My plan with Caleb was to always reclass him in the seventh grade. So he reclassed. He comes out for trials again with Ray, and everybody's like, you're going to be on a team. He gets cut again after his reclass year. So this year we go back to Corey's team, the B team. I pick up some more kids that got cut, and we beat the A team twice that year. See, when he got to high school in the EYBL, when he got to 16s, he probably should have started at 16s, but he had a teammate who just didn't have a really good attitude. And they were like, if he doesn't start, he's going to sulk. He's not going to be any good to us. So Caleb said, you know what? Let him start. I'll just come in when y'all want me to go. And this kid went through his season not pouting, and Caleb came in and played more minutes and was there at the end of the game. It didn't matter. Same thing when he was in 17s. What I need you to understand is that was Caleb's journey. And because he's a 6'8" left-handed shooter who can take threes and play defense against 7-footers, he's a prospect. He's an NBA prospect. He's at Georgetown. That's his journey. If Caleb was 5'10", none of that story would have worked at all. What I want you to get from this, and what I'm trying to add in terms of my layer of expertise, if you will, is that I understand from my 3 sons that all of them have a different journey. And since the time I've worked with them, I've worked with hundreds of kids and hundreds of families in Team Takeover for the last 10 years. And I've seen what worked and I've seen what didn't work. And every now and then you get surprised and something that you don't think is going to work turns out. And I hope for the best. But I know there's a system and a pattern and a formula for this stuff. And if you can just maximize what you can do for your child, everything else is going to take care of itself. So I hope as I'm telling you guys this, what I want you to get, because I don't want to leave my other 2 out to show you how this works. So Caleb is what they call a high major recruit. Yeah, Michigan, Indiana, big time schools, high major recruit. My oldest son, Jelani, is what you call a mid-major recruit. When he was coming out of high school at Sidwell Friends, he had offers like George Washington and Temple, some Atlantic 10 offers, Rice University. He ended up going to the University of Pennsylvania because we decided if we're going to play mid-major basketball, let's go get an Ivy League degree while we're at it. So we chose to go to the University of Pennsylvania. When he finished his mid-major career at UPenn, he came out and went into the transfer portal, and he transferred over to Howard University. And he just helped Howard go to their first NCAA tournament in the last 31 years as the captain of the team over there. So he's had a good, solid mid-major career. My middle son took a whole different route. My middle son was a skateboarder in 6th grade. He was a kid who liked basketball, but he really didn't want to work at it. He'd really rather skateboard. And so his middle school career, he just kind of played with some friends, and he wasn't really a takeover kid. He wasn't trying to work that hard. And then he got to high school and his body changed a little bit, and he realized he could jump really high. And he decided to chase his brother and see if he can make this basketball thing work. And going into his senior year, he was starting to get some looks from schools like Loyola in Maryland and University of Maryland, starting to get some looks, and he tore his ACL. And it sidelined his career. He didn't play his senior season. But because he had a really good summer right before that, some Division III schools got on to him. And he ended up going to Gettysburg College in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and pretty much got another $87,000 tuition year for about $10,000 we had to pay for Elijah a year. He left there as the all-time leading dunker in school history. And then he went to Howard and joined his brother and played at Howard last year when they went to the MEAC championship and went to the tournament again. When I say all this is to say I've been through some things. And while a lot of stuff turns out one way, has turned out some good ways, I've seen it go wrong in a lot of ways. And I've just tried to navigate myself and my family through it. And as you heard me say, my youngest child is 19. I got no business on this call with y'all talking about grassroots basketball with 6th graders. No business at all. But I love what the opportunity is in the DMV. I love the fact that there are parents like you that are committed to giving your children the best they can get. And I just saw, like I said, it's not rocket science. There are some things that it takes, but we just want to be a part of showing it to y'all. So that's why we do the basketball academy. Oh, somebody hit me with the whiteboard, so I'm gonna just close that for you. So okay, all right, all good, Bryce. All right, and I want to kind of tap this part because I just want to show. I do want to brag a little bit on my sons. I know I said all that stuff. I want to show you because and I apologize. I meant to say this when I started. I apologize to anyone who I haven't gotten back to on a text or an email, or if you sent it, I received it. Trust me, I haven't gotten all my accounting. I'm running all this stuff myself. And I'm also tell you this, I'm also asking for help. If there's anybody that has a gift for administration, somebody I thought was going to kind of work on this for me doesn't have the time. If you have, it's not a whole bunch of lift, but if you want to help me with some of these emails that are going on and you got to get for administration, please, I'm asking for some help because I'm kind of busy, but I want to keep this going. So let me just show you one of the things that I'm working on that kind of keeps me busy. And it's really a documentary about my kids, but I'm going to show you about this basketball journey that we've been talking about. So check this out. Like you get a sneak peek of this. the hotbed of American hoops. Oops, sorry. Hotbed of American hoops. At three of the nation's capital's most elite academic institutions, three brothers beg to ask the question, who said you can't win them all?
The Howard Voices are in the NCAA tournament. That's what we do.
DMV built Takeover tough, Sidwell strong. Forged by a philosophy of attitude, toughness, and intelligence. Prepared so you never have to get ready, you just stay ready.
Here, it's time, Williams for the right side, Elijah Williams. Inside, wide open, Williams.
You played in his favor. Obviously, this time it did.
The three for Williams.
Howard going to the NCAA tournament. They defend their MEAC crown.
Like I wish we could have been filming what happened with everything we did to like get Sidwell on the map and like what we're about to do in this city with Georgetown.
He saw something in us because we see something special in him.
Hey, Williams, standing ovation, a round of applause as he deserves. A legend of the three.
And then what that's going to lead to with whatever happens next beyond Georgetown with the NBA or whatever it is, like you should hear all the naysayers right now about like, why would he pick Georgetown? He got Michigan, Indiana, blah, blah, blah. Just watch.
With family at the foundation, and a formula for success, it makes sense to say,
This guy's son.
because home is where the hoop is. And now we're ready for the next chapter, the evolution. So yeah, I had to puff my chest a little bit on that one. But what I wanted to help y'all realize is that I love basketball. I love DMV basketball. Like I love everything about this opportunity. This has given me so much that I want you to understand that I have three sons that were never the best players. They were never great. They got some genetic gifts. They did. But because of a structure like Team Takeover, because I had people that showed me how to do this, when by the time Caleb is done at Georgetown, we're talking about probably $1.7 million in free tuition assistance through basketball. I can't sit on that and be like, look at me, look what we did. I literally want to keep that going. I'm like the #1 recruiter at Sidwell Friends. I got a ring from the state championships because I got multiple kids through Team Takeover into Sidwell Friends who are ready to go keep playing. Like this is real for me, right? So I want to make sure you're going to meet a lot of people as you go through, whether with us or anybody. A lot of people you're going to meet in grassroots basketball that are going to tell you a lot of stuff. And I'm not knocking anybody. Everybody has to kind of come up with their ideas of what they think is right. I'm saying to you that we know what we're doing. And if we tell you something that might sound different than what somebody else saying, our motto is it's just different. So if you want to get the results that we get, you might want to try doing the things that we do. If you want to get different results, go as long as you have a plan. I tell parents every time, I tell kids every time, whatever you want to do, have a plan. Now, you might want to make sure someone already worked your plan. You don't have to make up new stuff, but have a plan because when your plan stops working, you got to be able to make an adjustment. So I really want y'all to understand why, like for me, I don't have to do any of this. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, we almost didn't do this academy this year. I got a lot of stuff going on, like a lot. And I just wasn't getting the help from the people. And I just said, I'm just gonna do it. And I'm gonna ask the parents, somebody's gonna help me, we're gonna get it done. Like, let's go. Right. So let me not bore you with all that stuff in the background. I think I want to get to the academy. I want to answer your questions and kind of tell you about the academy, about really what it's like and what it's about. I want to first show another video because I think, and this is again another one of our older videos, but this is but it was our first academy. We first did the academy in 2019, and then we came back and did it again. And when COVID hit, I wasn't going into the gym with families and kids. I wasn't doing that, so we stopped. and a lot of things picked up over time. I kind of got away from it, to be honest with you, because there was a lot of stuff, people doing a lot of different stuff that I wasn't really a fan of. So I just left it alone. And then in 2023, we decided to bring the academy back because we really wanted to kind of change the culture that was happening. Like I felt like these kids that had gone through COVID in the DMV missed out on a huge swath of good coaching and good opportunities. So we said, how do we bring everybody back together under one roof? And so we put together our academy again. And I'm just going to show you this promo video because I think it speaks a lot to kind of the spirit of what Takeover Basketball Academy is about. So.
No reason to lose a game. One reason why you lose is because you mentally lost. That's a breakdown of really fundamental things that we have to do. Different between win or lose. You go up the high and low in the night. You won't stay there. That means go.
So the point of our Takeover Grassroots Academy was to bring it under one roof for the offseason. Like we're not going to play in winter leagues. We want to bring everybody in and open up the doors. You see, when we talk about having 30 kids at every grade level, one of the things that we do, we're not looking for a team. We're always looking for a class. And when you have a class mentality, when I say a class, I mean a recruiting class. Most of the kids you saw in that video were the 2023 and 2024 kids. Like that was that class. So they were actually just looking at me trying to feel good. There were kids in there that are going to Virginia Tech, that are going to Georgetown, that are at George. Like there's a lot of kids in there that I could point out to you. And then there's some kids who are just going into the 9th grade, like that are actually about to do some big things at places like Sidwell, Murray. And there's a lot of stuff in that video that was really good. But the reason why we want to, bring it all together is that we want to make sure people are getting good basketball. And when we think about the class, whether it's two teams, I'm trying to help people get to the next grade. Like the way this basketball journey goes is if you want to get to college basketball, you need a coach to like you in the 11th grade. You just need one coach to say, you know what? That's the guy I like. He's going to play for me. I got it. Division 1, 2, or 3, or anybody. Around 11th grade, you got all that time to get ready because the only ranking that matters is the scholarships available ranking when the coach is looking at you. It's the only one that matters at the end of the day. So this idea, when we look at this class, that's why we invite 30 people to come to our academy in every grade. When we finish the academy, we're going to have tryouts and we're going to keep probably 24 kids from inside or outside the academy. But the idea for us is give me 24 kids at every grade level. Let me pick, because I'm going to look at the kids that can really go right now, but I'm looking at you and your mom is 5'4" and your dad's 5'8". So I see you cooking over there, little buddy. I see you cooking. But I also see this kid over here whose mom is 5'11" and his dad is 6'4", and he's kind of clumsy right now in the 5th grade. But I see this wingspan that's coming. So I'm going to make sure I keep you in one of these classes and one of these teams. So as we all grow and develop, everybody has a shot. That's why we focus on 24 kids in the class. I'm not looking for one team to go cook and win a trophy. I could care less. I've given away all the trophies. I don't want any more trophies, right? So we're looking for how we can develop kids and look at prospects and look at the people and the best kids and the best families. Let me say that again. And the best families. See, what I love about the things like the academy and grassroots is I get to meet y'all. So when it comes to 6th grade or 7th grade and you're trying out for the middle school and they be like, yo, how's this kid? I'll be like, yo, he's cool, but mom's is an issue, yo. You're gonna have a problem with mom. Like, it's gonna be a problem. Like, I just happens all the time. Like kids doing great, but dad, oh man, if dad can't even come to the games anymore. Like, I gotta be honest because now we've been around long enough, right? So what I want you to say when we talk about recruiting families, our ultimate goal is to get you in college. I don't want to bring you all the way up the chain, and then in the 10th grade, you spaz out of the game and cost your son a scholarship because the stuff I've been telling you since 5th grade. Nah, I want you don't. That doesn't help us. Like I've seen parents lose scholarships for their kids at a WCAC game. I've sat right next to the coach and watched the dude be like scratch because mom was wilding out at a timeout. So we're looking for the right families and the people that want to learn, that want to grow, that, if you think you know it all, great. Like build your own, like we want people that's like, you know what, let me learn. Even if I know it all, y'all probably know some things I probably left out. So just keep wanting to learn. All right. So the academy is to bring it all together to get people to understand how we play basketball. And I want to just show this part because I think it comes down a lot to, where's this thing? Okay, to this pyramid. People say, well, what's different about Team Takeover? Why should I, because I will say this. I thought one of the questions somebody was going to ask, because this is what I got in this little live chat or whatever we did Instagram live. But this idea that Takeover is system basketball and your kid won't get a chance to really develop because they gotta be able to cook or whatever. So I want you to understand that the reason why the NBA is looking the way it's looking and moving towards a European game is because even at the NBA level, there's high system basketball. The colleges you like to play, while you might see a lot of individual stuff that ends up getting in the bucket, there's a whole system that you probably missed in terms of how that became a thing. So if anybody tells you that Takeover is not, they play system basketball and your child can't develop, look at our record. Like we have Josh Hart developed with us. Sadiq, I could go on and like we've developed people that can play system basketball and get long-term game, right? So when someone tells you that there's a system, that's not a bad thing. I'm proud of our system. So I want to kind of share the grassroots system with you. We call it the pyramid of success because what we've seen is that if people focus on these things, they can become as successful as they can be. And again, it's not a guarantee, but it's a foundational structure that we can put together in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade and 6th grade that can make you a more successful basketball player. The first one goes back to that question I was asked earlier about what is it at the foundation? Every person on this call, I don't know how good you are, I don't know if you can dribble, I don't know if you can shoot, but every person on this call can do what's at the foundation at the bottom of this. You can be in the best shape. You can work harder than the person next to you. You can decide to be a great teammate, and you can be a sportsman and understand and fall in love with this game. If you can do that, you have the foundation to be a successful basketball player. You do. At any level. I don't care for anybody you want to play for. Coaches love people that can play right there. Guys at the YMCA will pick you up when you're 30 years old if you can do those things when no one else will. I guarantee you, you'll play forever in this game. All right. Now, it gets a little more tricky when it starts to add things to it. But if you can build that foundation, you're off to a great start. Now you got to put in some work. And we call them our basketball habits of mind. These aren't even skills. Like people think it's shooting or they think it's passing or no, it's not dribbling. No, no, no. It's habits of mind. It's a mental game. So things like boxing out on every single play. People don't understand if you can out rebound, if you're the leading rebound, you know who never sits the bench? The leading rebounder. You might not be able to dribble, might not be able to score. The leading rebounder is always on the court. So if you box out every time, you might have a chance to keep playing. When you get the rebound, if you understand to chest the rebound and secure it, and just little things, just secure the rebound. If I know to talk on defense, coaches love that. If I can get in triple threat as soon as I catch it instead of dribbling 8 times before I turn it over, I'm ahead of the game. If I can space out on the floor to make the game easier for my teammates, we're doing great. And if we can move the basketball, which moves faster than the defense, we'll score a whole bunch of points. And I still haven't even taken a shot yet. I'm just in great shape and I know how to play. And then if we commit to some basic principles, the takeover playbook is really thin. We don't run a whole bunch of plays in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th grade. There's no reason to confuse everybody. We just space everybody out and run principles off movement. If the ball goes this way, you go that way. If the ball goes this way, you got to cut. If we make this pass, and we just teach you how to play this game because it's a really fun game to play. On defense, we play core principles of helping each other on defense, shell principles. And we teach you what's called 50. And you'll learn that as you go to the academy. You can get all this in the academy. But the top of the ice, what separates people, and this is what you just have to accept. You can do all these things great. You can know the systems, you can know how to do all these habits of mind. At the end of this day, this is a cruel game. And as much as you want to play this game, it's a game of freaks sometimes. The higher you go, the places you want to play, your skills and athleticism are gonna what's gonna separate people. And when I say skills and athleticism, the athleticism part is, you can build your body and work out, but part of that is just how God made you, your genetics. Your skills are what you can work on. So if you want to become the best ball handler in the area, you can decide. I'm just going to dribble and work on stuff. My skill of passing the ball or shooting the ball or defending, because defending is a skill. If rebounding is the skill that makes you special, you can build your skills to put yourself at the top of the iceberg, the pyramid, because those are the people that really shine in this game, that have all those things. I've never seen a person make it to a high level without that foundational stuff, though. See, at the top of your game is one thing, but if you can commit to those things at the bottom, then that's what this is about. And what we decided to do with the Takeover Basketball system and Takeover Basketball Academy is design 8 2-hour workouts that are going to test your child to see if they really want to play at this level. And when I say at this level, people think you got to be really good to play at Takeover. You don't have to be really good. You got to work really hard. Because I can promise there's some people on this call right now that I've already seen their name pop up that may not may might have been as good as they thought they could be when they first came to our academy last year. But I just watched how hard they work. So you got a jersey, you made the team. See, when we have tryouts at the end of the academy, if a kid walks in the gym and he's really skilled, but he doesn't look like he's working hard, I got a kid who's been in the academy for 8 weeks who I know might miss the layup, but he got better. You should have seen him shoot the layup 8 weeks ago. I'm picking that kid on my team. So again, it's not going to guarantee you a spot, but when we come to try out and ready to play, you're going to know what it takes to be on the team. You're going to know that nobody's going to take a spot from you. So that's the benefit that you get. All right. So on the player side, it's not a lot of rocket science. The kids are going to have to come to work every time because it's 2-hour sessions. We're going to get in, we're going to get out. We're going to have a Wednesday session. We're going to play some games on some of the Saturdays later in the academy, all just inter squad scrimmages. I got 30 in every class. Give me 4 teams of 7. Let's rock out. You get more time. You better be in condition because not a lot of subs when there's only 7 people on the team. So everybody be ready to play. All right. So that's what it's for the student athletes. Any questions about what I just said or any questions about that whole idea about what we're going to give our student athletes for their 2-hour sessions at the academy? Any questions? 15 minutes left. Somebody, you got something, Carol?
Yeah, I was just curious of in other sports that we play at a certain age, coaches really don't want to hear from parents; they just want to hear from the kids. Is you kind of what's the rule of thumb with Team Takeover in terms of it? So the kid wants more playing time or just hearing from the kid versus the parent. Do you all have a kind of a guidance or a policy around that?
Absolutely. That's an awesome question. And one of the things I love about the academy is we, the parents, you're not going to sit there and watch basketball every weekend. I hope y'all know that. And I hope you're also not planning to drop off and leave. Like we're going to have tours for y'all, these universities and these schools, conversations, asking about all kinds of things. Like this is for you too, because we're going to spend time answering questions like that and talking about what does a good takeover parent look like? Right. And we're going to break all that stuff down. We're actually going to have a handbook for y'all this year to make sure people know and right. Because I'll give you a simple rule that we have at Takeover that we're going to do a better job of monitoring this year. We have a rule called the 24-hour rule. And what that simply means is that after a game or after, even if you get upset, set up practice, if you're upset about something with your coach, I need you to wait 24 hours before you call or voice that. Like if the game just ended, don't meet the coach in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. If the game just ended, don't text the coach. We got to talk. Don't do that. Right? Because your emotions are up. The coach's emotions are up. The coach is a volunteer. Let me say it again. The coach is a volunteer trying to help your child. So give them a little bit of room so everybody can calm down. And I would say after we discuss it, if the video is available, let's go back and both watch the film because we promote filming our games. So it's before you come at me with what you think, let's watch the film and we can talk about it for real. So I answer that to say that there are some kind of procedures and rules. I think it's a good practice no matter what, that if your child is unhappy about their performance or their play or their playing time, I would say as early as possible, make that a conversation for them and their coach.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't care if they're in the 3rd grade. Coach, and it's a simple question. Coach, what do I need to do to play more? And then just shut up and listen. And whatever the coach says, go do it. And if you do it and you still don't get in, hey, coach, I did everything you asked me to do. What do I need to do to be able to play more? Mm-hmm. That's it. Because I'm gonna tell you, if you do call me as a parent and I haven't talked to your kid, that's a red flag, right?
That's great.
So,
I like that.
yeah, that's a great question. And we're gonna actually go through that. That's why I said when we talk about the right, we doesn't matter how you show up. Like we're gonna show you how we do it, right? So I'm glad you're already thinking about that because that's important. All right. Any other questions about what the student athlete day, what it looks like at the academy on that side? All right. I kind of got into my next piece, which was the parents, right? So I want to stress to you that for the academy, your role is to learn as much as you can. It's an academy for you too. So we're going to take you to schools that you probably never heard of before, as you maybe never been to. Everybody knows about, Paul VI and DeMatha and Gonzaga. We don't take the academy those spaces. They got enough places to recruit. They're good. We're good on those. So we're going to take you to places that you don't know about. And I'll tell you this year and I apologize for the schedule not being set. I tried to get a little tricky. We were going to do this in the middle school. So I was given middle school, the high schools, and I was going to work with more colleges. And it just hasn't gone well. And I will say this, I know I said this in the email. We actually aren't going to be starting until the 22nd. I'm literally just got the last text and I wanted to hold off as long as possible. We were supposed to go to Potomac on Sunday, the first one on the 15th. They just don't have the capacity for us to do it. So anyway, so we'll start on the 22nd at Georgetown. I apologize for that. We'll get it back at the end. We'll figure out something. We'll be a little flexible. I'm a teacher by design, so be a little flexible with me. So we'll make sure we get it straight. So we'll get the schools because I want you to learn about some of these schools. I was hoping Potomac. Most people haven't seen their beautiful new facilities. Like it's an incredible school. Most people don't know about it. We're gonna go to Sidwell. We've been to Severn School in the past, like all kinds of places that you might be a little off the radar. So you can learn and see what the landscape is like, right? Because I think it's important for you to do that. And the reason why we do that, let me show you this real quick. I just want to show you what this, going through this academy doesn't guarantee anything for you. But just to show you, these are when we did this in 2019, these are some of the student athletes that went through our academy that played with Takeover, many of them, and where they end up, where they are in school now, right? And so when I look at this, like Good Counsel, that's way out in Olney. We started the academy. We went there this year with them. And they didn't even know about that stuff. They didn't even, but they learned about Good Counsel and they got involved. Murray School, we had a couple kids. They got this kid Oliver coming up. I'm trying to tell y'all, Oliver's about to be a problem in the MAC. And he learned about Murray School. I feel bad we didn't get him at Sidwell now. We learned about the Murray School at the academy. William Bryant Jr. This kid is from DC, never heard of O'Connell. His family didn't know anything about O'Connell. He's now a freshman at O'Connell High School, Bishop O'Connell. We went there as a part of the program. We have 3 kids that Sidwell friends who went to the academy right now. 2 9th graders and an 8th grader, right? So the idea that we're doing with this, what I want you to understand is that this is not a guarantee, but it's a pathway. I want to give you as much information, as much knowledge, and as much skills that your child can take on and do whatever they want to do in this basketball arena. It just takes the work and the know-how. So that's the whole brand of the academy, is really just to teach you. And it's not, it's not I don't know what people have said some crazy stuff about what we're doing. I just want to clear up all that stuff in the sense that we're literally, sometimes stuff is like too good to be true. Maybe it is, but it's true. Like this is what we've done. This is what we continue to do. And we're just happy to have you guys on board for the next year. So I know it's coming down to the end. I do want to leave some time for any general questions. If something I didn't touch on, please go ahead and ask me. Go ahead and open up the floor I want to leave the last 10 minutes or whatever we can find. So any questions?
Yeah. How you doing? Can you talk a little bit about how the program does the program accept dual sport athletes and how you guys balance that?
Great question. In this what we call the off season, that's why I do everything on Sundays. I push, and you should be playing multiple sports. Let me say that again. You should be playing multiple sports. I'm just as a strategy, because part of this strategy is that there's a lot of stuff going on with this stuff. And if you want this to have a payoff at the end, like free tuition or a better education or whatever, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Basketball is a cruel sport. It is. You could be really good, but if you're really good in 5'11", your opportunities are way different than a person that's kind of good in 6'6". That's just the game. So you might be a really good soccer player if you really put, like, I don't know, but if you want to get free tuition, it ends up being a numbers game at the end. So I always push 2 sports, and I want people to play multiple sports as long as they can. At some point, you got to kind of narrow it down. But I think in the beginning, these early ages, I've had kids on my team that just pick tournaments they went to sometimes, like, you know what, I'm gonna play with y'all, and I'm gonna play baseball over here. And we've done that before. Like it's there's no if you're the right person, if you got a spot on the team, you're the right family, you cover everything you can, you come to practice. What I don't allow is people to play on two different basketball teams. Let me say that again. So if you're on a Team Takeover basketball team, unless it's like your school team or your middle school team, there's no other basketball that you're going to play. Or at least I'll say this, there's no way that's going to be a priority. You're not going to miss our practice to go play with somebody else or miss a game. But I'm going to tell you why I push back on that anyway. Because again, people have different plans for you. And sometimes kids are playing on one team that's a different level. They get to do stuff. They make mistakes. They can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And you're like, I just want them to get this confidence up to get working. But that's just because they give them a larger leash over there because they don't play as much defense probably, right? So you want to get them some extra bump. But then when you bring them back to us, I got to untrain all those bad habits. So now he's going lower on the depth chart because he already was struggling. If you were happy with the time you were getting, you wouldn't move him for extra games. But if you're not happy, you move him and he comes back with bad habits. All you did was drop him down a little further and show me you're probably 1 foot out the door anyway. So let me go focus on another kid. So for us, we just cut it out for you. We don't even allow that stuff. We have sometimes within our program people play up and down, but we don't even like doing that a lot, right? So, but we want to make sure you develop with us. But again, the dual sport, go do your thing because it works different muscles. It helps with injuries. Trust me, all that stuff is true. But yeah, another question.
I do have a question. One of the issues that we had with our last program is that the kids were told they did things wrong, but they were never shown where those mistakes were made. So even through the academy, do you all watch film and, as reprimands or just mistakes are made, they're able to actually see and understand where they could have done better or where their opportunities are?
Great question. We don't watch film during the academy, but we actually could add that. Meaning, I would need somebody to film it and post it somewhere, and we just watch a certain. Maybe we take one station, right, and look at a station that the kids are really struggling with, and maybe they watch film of themselves, maybe some others. I like that idea. So if anyone is listening that wants to do something like that, and you want to camp out at a station one Sunday and just film multiple clips of, and we just cut it up and make some mistakes, and I love that idea. We do believe in film study with our teams. We ask one of the parent responsibilities is that somebody film the games. And if you need to turn your mic off, turn your mic off. But somebody film the game so that we can now post it for the team. And it can be, we love film study. So I would love to add that to the academy. I hadn't thought about that. But when we start our season with our teams, we definitely do that. Because how else do you get better, right? But I will tell you during the academy, we're going to have a lot of coaches at the academy. So even our stations, the people are going to get, I'm going to show you this the right way. And that's why it's an academy. Let me show you the show. I'm going to say just do a triple threat. Let me show you what it looks like. Let me show you an example. Let me help you. And then doing it 8 weeks, building on the talent, the skill, they're going to get it. So yeah, that's a great question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a question. What's your view towards personal trainers and coaches outside of the program?
So I will say that how can I say? I'm not a big fan. And let me tell you why. There's enough stuff on YouTube to find out if your son is serious before you pay a single dollar. You see, I would never pay for a trainer for my son until he came in sweating from the driveway, from all the YouTube clips he did with drills to show me how serious he was about this basketball game. To have a trainer in the 3rd grade is totally outlandish to me. But I know that some people do it and some people work it. I have 3 sons that play Division I basketball. I have never in my life played a trainer to teach my son how to play basketball. Now, as he got older, then they got better. People did it for free. It's amazing. These trainers, can I put them on the Instagram? All of a sudden, I'm Caleb shooting coach. No, you aren't. No, you didn't. Right. But the idea of training, I'm not knocking trainers because there's a time in people's game where that is a part of the jump. Like but in 3rd grade, it's not that because what you're going to do is you're going to learn how to do some things better than some other kids. And it's going to elevate you for 3rd grade. By the 5th grade, that's just not going to work anymore. Excuse me. Sorry, kids, but that's not going to work anymore. Right. And so now what? I go to another trainer to learn another move. See, I want my kid to be in the driveway being creative. This is a creative game. I don't want somebody telling me go to that cone and then that cone. The greats have a feel for the game. I want you to be in the driveway with a drill and add your own little piece and say, Dad, let me show you what I added to that drill you showed me the other day. Now I got a creative basketball player that wants to play the game. So for me personally, I'm not big on the trainers. if it's working for you, great. But I'm just saying, if it's your investment and not your child's, like if you're getting your kid ready to go to the trainer and they're like, I don't want to go today, you're just throwing money away. Like literally, stop doing that. Like it should be their motivation. That's why they got to start in the driveway for me. All right. That's a good question. Thank you. Any other thoughts? Any other questions? These are good.
Yeah, a kind of general logistic question. Are you guys based out of anywhere like DC, Maryland, Virginia, or do you have like, generally, is there a specific area or is it just kind of wherever in the DMV?
Yeah, DC, Maryland, Virginia. And I mean by as all of our teams, we don't have like a gym. We don't have a space. Like Durant has kind of their space and maybe some other folks. We have some high schools that we generally kind of work with, but I would say probably if we're based out of anywhere, we're based out of Athletic Republic, although we need to get out of there because it costs us way too much to practice. But we're looking, we have some schools in the area, but Takeover in general is DC based on paper, but we have families and practices and gyms access all over the DMV. So
hey Kyle, I got a question for you. In the email, you talk about the invitation to the umbrella management system, and I know we have it until we start on the 22nd, right? So I just want to make sure no one misses any changes or updates to locations and things like that. Is that going to be addressed?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. So let me I'm trying, this umbrella management is a startup company, is somebody that's a friend of the program. We're trying to get him on board, but he got a couple more days, right? And what I mean is there's some things we use Team Snap in the past, and it's very clean, it's very easy. I'm trying to help this young company get started, but it's not really working for me yet. So they're doing some stuff in the background to make it better. That's why I haven't sent out any more links. But as we come into this weekend, you may get another link to join Team Snap. We got to look at the pricing, get all that stuff together, but that may be coming. So thank you for that question. I was kind of hiding from that because I want to help, but it's not really working for what we need to do right now. So maybe they'll come back next year and we'll get on board if it doesn't work. But they're working hard in the background to get some stuff fixed for me. So thank you for that though. All right. And anything else? And yes, it's for everybody, anyone. The wait list for 6th grade. Great question. So the way the numbers are, I haven't even looked at the numbers in a minute, but the way the numbers are, the way we set this up is that there are 30 slots in each grade, right? So we're talking about 30 6th graders, 30 5th graders. When we're getting ready to start this weekend, there were only 23 5th graders, right? That number has now just gone up. We have a couple more now. So the idea was that when 6th grade got to 30 people, if we didn't get the 30 5th graders, I would roll them over so we still have the 2 groups of 30. That was the idea. I got a feeling because of the kind of wait now that we're pushed back a week, we'll probably get the names out and people should probably join. So that might not work. I may get creative if I can't move people over to the 3rd and 4th grade group from 6th grade. That's going to be too much of a gap. But I may try to get creative and see how many people we can get in the gym. So we'll work on that. But that's what I meant with the wait list. Somebody asked me that question. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Let's see. First of all, feel free to, like I said, I saw some people, thank you for reaching out and saying you'd help with the administration. I'll reach out to you probably tomorrow with something. It's really not a heavy lift. It's just it's mainly follow up and just kind of keeping things going. We have the systems in place, but thank you for that. I guess the last thing I'll end with, oh, go ahead. I saw a question. Yep.
Yes, hi. I'm a new parent here. I didn't get the part about 6th graders. I have registered both of them, and I'm still eligible to bring my 6th grader to the on 22nd.
Yes.
Is that right?
What I'm going to do is if you registered your 6th grader and it wasn't, what I did is I made the change that said waiting list. So if you didn't see that at all when you registered, you're fine. And I think you have a 3rd grader as well, so you're fine.
Yes. And my problem was, I'm sorry. My problem was that at the app, initially I saw the group of parents for 6th graders and then it disappeared. So I'm eligible to see only the 3rd graders. I think it's because you have waiting lists.
Yeah, we'll fix it. The sixth grade one, we're gonna fix that for you with the app. So trust me, we'll probably be on another app, but we'll get you that straight. And that's a great thing because you'll be able to see both of your,
Yes.
children the whole time. Anything
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tell me how you pronounce your name, please.
Also.
Also, thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right. Other questions?
You said we're not starting this Sunday. It's the 22nd, correct?
Correct. On the 22nd, we'll be at Georgetown University.
Yes.
On the 29th, on the 29th, we will be at Howard University. I'm only everything else is kind of still up for grabs because we moved some people around but that's part of my backup. So we're gonna make sure we get that to you. But those two are done. We're good. I do have a date with McNamara. We need to just cement. George Mason, for those people out in Northern Virginia, I'm waiting for them to get back to me with one more document. I think we're gonna have a date with them. So we're excited about getting the young folks into college arenas too, because it just feels pretty good, right? To play some college basketball hoops. So let's get it going. All right. Anything else? Yep, go ahead.
No, I just said thank you.
Oh, yep, absolutely. All right. So I will leave with this because when I say I'm really busy, and I want you to understand that in case you don't know, because of Team Takeover, I work with some of the top basketball programs in the country, some of the top universities in the country, teaching anti-racism to people on their campuses. In the last 4 years, in response to the George Floyd incident and in response to a situation with my son experienced some racism on his campus, right, coming off the protest. We were at home on Zoom, and using the Takeover platform, we called every single coach in America to the table to talk about racism in America. And I want you to understand what I'm saying. What I mean is, when George Floyd was murdered, a lot of people said a lot of things. A lot of people posted stuff and they were going to do this and they were going to do that. And what we did at Takeover, because a lot of these coaches were saying stuff, we said, you know what, instead of us going by your Twitter or these, because parents will want to know, how's this going to play at my son's school and where should we go? Should we go to this school and all that? We didn't really take their tweets for an answer. So what we did is we called every coach in America that wanted to recruit Team Takeover Basketball. And we just told them straight up, if you want to recruit our kids, we need you to watch this video. It's an 80-minute video called The History of Race in America. And it lays out everything that's happened in this country that literally less than 1% of the population really knows what we're talking about. And when they watched this video, we invited them to come on a Zoom call. And we gave them 3 weeks notice. And 3 weeks after we told them to watch this video, we just mentioned to them that they probably want to show up. And guess what? Every coach in America that wanted to recruit Team Takeover Basketball showed up. The whole staff from Villanova, the whole staff from Syracuse, the whole staff from Duke in North Carolina. Yeah, the whole staff. And they got on a call to talk about racism and how to end racism in America. And we challenged them to go back and do something special. And I can tell you all about what we're doing at a Long Talk. We have a website, and I'll put it in the chat. But I'm saying all this to tell you that this is way bigger than basketball. We're talking about an organization that uses platform to start a conversation in America that has affected schools and teachers and business owners and all kinds of places, to have a real conversation about race in America using our platform. So when I say I'm really busy, like I had 3 calls today with universities. These are 2-hour sessions that we're talking about the history of race in America and how we can motivate people to go do something about it. So I'm not bragging on that. I'm saying to y'all that this is so important to me that I'm going to make time to make sure it works. And it might be a little bumpy sometimes. But trust me, we're going to just keep pushing through. And if you're down with what we're getting ready to do, I promise you're going to have an amazing experience with the Takeover Basketball Academy. And so reach out if you need to, hit me up, any questions, but let's just get ready to go. And I'm telling you, to my young folks on the call, don't take this weekend off because we didn't start. I'm going to tell y'all something. On the 22nd, it's going to hurt. Let me say it again. For all my young people on the call right now, on the 22nd, it's going to hurt. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Because I'm going to find, your parents are going to find, when I say hurt, you're not going to be injured. But your muscles are going to be sore. Your brain's going to be a little taxed. And your competitive spirit is going to be tapped in. Because if you really want to wear the black and orange and play for a program like Team Takeover, you got to knock a lot of people out the way. And for us to do that, we just got to lock in. And I promise you, if you do the things that we ask you to do, if you commit to doing the little things that other people won't do, you're going to pass a lot of people and just keep moving towards your dream, because every single one of you can get whatever this game has for you, but you got to go work for it. So do what you got to do this week. Hit some stairs, hit the hills, do something, get ready. Because on the 22nd, if you're not in top physical condition, we're going to show you what it takes to be in top physical condition. There won't be a lot of shots up on the 22nd. Let me just put it that way. We're going to find out who's ready to work, and we're going to go from there. All right. So thank you guys for your time. I appreciate y'all. Continue to lock in. Let's get this done. Welcome to Team Takeover 2024. Let's make it happen. Good stuff. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Right. All right.
Thank you.
Good stuff. All right. I got to get this stuff out the chat. He was helping me out. That was a great question by Alex to get it started, by the way. I'm super impressed with that young man. I'm going to tell you right off the break. So good stuff. That's good stuff.
I was trying to figure out how to get off mute. Thank you so much. This was awesome. It was a really nice way to also start like this process. So I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Looking forward to it for sure.
Thanks. Have a good night. Bye. Say bye. Bye.
Ice in administration, Justina Mitchell.